Choosing yourself, guys, is not selfish and it's not abandonment. It's loving yourself. It is empowerment. Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel, and hello if you are new. My name is Andrea Johnson. I'm your spiritual inspiration, here to inspire, empower, and teach you how to master your energy. Let me grab my coffee. Oh my gosh, that's so good. Let's dive in. If you have seen any of my recent vlogs, you know that I am currently going through a separation with my husband. Show me what to do. The vlogs that I posted, I did get some feedback on, and one comment really got to me so much that I wanted to make a video about it. I understand why that person made that comment, and I get that this is a lot of people's mindsets on separation or divorce or breakups in relationships in general. But the comment basically said, "Good job for abandoning your husband." I kind of sat there and I was just like, ugh. Like, that brought me back to a really, I don't want to say dark place, but a place that I had sat for years, wondering if I was going crazy for wanting to either separate, or what I was feeling, if the relationship was right for me or not, if we were right for one another. I kept myself stuck basically for years, trying to shift my mindset and to be the person that held the relationship together, basically sacrificing myself for what internally I knew was not right or good for me. I was not choosing me, and I was confused on the right decision to make, because a lot of people hold guilt and shame around choosing themselves first in a relationship, even if that means walking away from it, because it's the best thing for you and you deep down internally know that it is the best thing for both of you. So I want to go over in this video how I came to the conclusion to leave the relationship, not abandon, and what is really going on when we are choosing ourselves, and what else is really going on when we're stuck in that indecisive mindset, and why people get that way. Because guys, choosing yourself is not abandoning the other person. It is an act of self-love for you both, and I'm going to show you how it is. First off, I want you to know that relationships are never about right and wrong, or whose fault it is or whose fault it isn't. It is about growth, it is about alignment, and it is about connection. Love really doesn't have a lot to do with it down the road. In the beginning, it's what draws us together. If you want to call it love, it's a bunch of chemical reactions in the body, and that happens dependent upon your unique vibration or energy. When you're in a relationship with somebody, or when you're considering being in a relationship with somebody, you want to consider, what value is this person bringing me? Where can I see myself with this person? How are we building one another up? What connection do we have? And what energy is this person bringing out of me, right? Love has very little to do with the relationship. When people say they fall in love with one another, you don't fall in love, guys. You elevate in love. And what I mean by this is you pay attention to how you feel around that person. And when it brings out the best in you, when you feel yourself rise around that person, and I'm not talking about the chemical reactions of love, I'm talking about you as a person. Do they bring out the best in you, or do they bring out the worst in you? Because we are human, we are going to change. It is inevitable that we are going to evolve. Whether we evolve forward or whether we evolve backwards, we are going to change somehow. And if we don't, the universe is going to make damn sure that it's going to give us an event that will do it for us. Thank you, trauma. When things happen and our energies shift, because the person that you meet in the beginning will probably not be the same person, and neither will you. So your energies shift, your vibrations change, people grow in different directions, and it takes a lot more than just love to keep people together. Because what is the purpose of the relationship, right? Where are you guys consciously choosing to better one another and to build one another and to sometimes be something for that other person when they cannot be it for themselves, right? So these are the dynamics that make up a successful relationship, when two people have to be conscious of this, have to be conscious of their own energy, have to be conscious of their own wants, their own needs, and when it shifts in life, to understand, to communicate their needs to the other person, to then see if that other person can meet the boundary or meet their emotional needs. What do you need in your life that this other person can help you with or provide you with? A relationship is a commitment of a partnership. It's like you are a team. It is like you are in business with one another. You're doing life together, right? It is more than just love. And when you have one person who consciously or unconsciously is not meeting the needs of another, is not necessarily emotionally fulfilling the needs of another, but cannot withhold a boundary, it is up to the other person to decide, okay, do I choose myself? Is this something that I can live with for the rest of my life? This other person being that way, because I cannot change them. I cannot do anything or expect them to change, right? Even if I myself am changing as a person and my needs, my desires, my wants out of relationships are changing now as I work on myself and work on my own vibration, right? Because we evolve when we do these things. This is a natural part of a human being. When the other person is not evolving with us, or they're not willing to change or fulfill us in some emotional need that we need out of a relationship, because this is how we are tools for one another and provide energies for one another. When this is not being met, you have to really consider what the point of the relationship is and if you can even go on in it. It is not the responsibility of the other person to provide anything for you. We have to understand this as well too. This is where it's nobody's fault. Everything starts and ends with you, right? But you understand yourself enough that you know your pain points, you know what's causing discomfort, you know where the problems are at, and you communicate it to that other person. And if it's not being meant, you either have to choose yourself or you have to shift your mindset and be okay with where you are at. This is not abandonment. It's nobody's fault. It's a dance of energies. And when one person changes, when you work on yourself and you grow and you evolve, there will be things in that relationship that may have been okay at one time, but are no longer okay because you know that you deserve more than what you were settling for. You know that you no longer can put up with certain things in your life, and you know it is not your responsibility to heal or to be something for that other person that they cannot be for themselves. You are not their healer. When you work on you and you change your vibration, and the other person is not working on themselves or evolving with you, you're going to shift in realities. You or the other person, whichever is working on themselves, you're going to shift up. And this other person who is not working on themselves, changing in vibration, evolving, they're going to bring you down too. It will be very hard to elevate yourself to a certain extent. It's just the laws of the energies, guys. Like energy attracts like energy. And when you guys are separating on the spiritual plane, meaning you're changing in vibrations, you're gonna fall apart in each other's reality. You guys will be living literally in two different realities that will be very hard to coexist and to build a solid relationship. You're living on two different wavelengths. We all are, guys. Even though we all live on Earth, we are all living in different realities dependent upon the energy and the perception in our minds. How this can play out is maybe somebody worked on themselves enough to understand what they deserve in a relationship, what they realize now that they were settling for. This can look like no longer allowing a person to talk to you a certain way or to treat you a certain way, that you know that you deserve better, so you draw a boundary and this causes issue. Then this requires the other person to either meet the new boundary that you are demanding, or you leave, right? That's your two choices. So those are some examples in how vibrationally we can change and exist in two different realities. And it's what can or can you not tolerate in a relationship. I'm going to emphasize that this is nobody's fault. It is just a dance of energy, right? When you're changing an energy, you're going to realize that your energy around this person is going to change as well. You're going to see your new energy reflected back to you. Before, when you were seeing maybe love or something like that, now you're seeing just anger or hate or like I want to say a monster or something, but you're seeing a person differently now. And it is only because it is now your energy. You're seeing the energy of the other person probably didn't change, and so now this energy is being brought out of you. It is you being reflected back to you, trying to tell yourself or your soul trying to communicate to you with the discomfort that, hey, this is not okay. Draw a boundary or leave, or do something about it. Communicate, do something to take action or shift your mindset, right? Those are your choices that you have. In reality, it's nobody's fault. It is just the way the energies react with one another, guys. That is just the law of the energy. So it's not the person and it's not you. It's just your energies interacting and bringing these versions out of you that are either elevating you, the energies are complementing one another, or they're bringing you down. That is it. We tie our identity or our humanness so much into relationships that we think that it's our fault, that we hold guilt, that we hold shame, and we force ourselves to stay in toxic situations that cause health issues, stress, that destroy our sense of being and our soul. Why? When something is not honoring you, you have to honor yourself. The soul is speaking to you through your feelings and through your body, because 9 times out of 10, eventually, if you're going to stay in this and try to fight your way through it, your body is going to start shutting down. You're going to start getting health issues. You're going to feel heavy. You're going to feel stress. You're going to start getting aches and pains. Your immune system is going to start shutting down and you'll be sick, tired. These are all signs that your energies are not meshing well with your environment, your people, places, where you live, what you were doing. And yet we say choosing the other person and sacrificing ourselves is the best thing to do, right? Because all of that communication with the body and with your feelings, that says that's right. We have it so ass backwards, guys. Relationships are meant to be tools to help us understand more of ourselves. Whether that's good or bad, it doesn't matter. The only judgment we hold is the one of ourselves. It doesn't matter. It's what we do about it. It's how we let our relationships evolve us. And when we try and stay stuck in it and we try and fix things in the external world, where we try to have kids to make it better, we try to move, we try to do certain things for the other person, be something for the other person, when in reality that does shit, nothing. It just makes you feel better for a little bit, thinking that things will get better. But as we know, reality is created from the inside out. Eventually it will all come back. So it's understanding this concept of how it's not really your fault or their fault. It's energies playing out. And if the other person cannot meet your standards or the new energy that is you, or vice versa, if you're gonna sit there and try to change that other person, that's like insanity, guys. It's not gonna work. That other person has got to change for themselves. Choosing yourself, guys, is not selfish and it's not abandonment. It's loving yourself. It is empowerment. And let me tell you, it took me years to choose myself. It took me years to get to this spot of where I am today, that constant thought in the back of my mind of I knew what I deserved and I wanted out of my life, and I subconsciously knew my relationship could not meet that, right? We were growing in different directions and you could feel it vibrationally. So that is why you need more than love to hold it together, because love sometimes looks like walking away. Love looks like freedom for the both of you. That is not abandonment. It doesn't feel good in the moment. Trust me, it doesn't feel good. But the soul ultimately will get to a point where it is more painful to stay stuck in that situation than the fear of leaving. And until you get to that point, or until you work on yourself enough to get to that point of the pain of staying is more than the fear of leaving, will you ever leave? Because the soul will follow the highest vibration, right? And if the fear is too great to leave, if you haven't worked on yourself enough, then you will stay stuck because it is safer, even if it's hell. Because you are so used to that shitty ass feeling, the thought of leaving is more scarier than that feeling of hell. You have got to work on yourself enough to overcome that. And I spent years doing that. You guys have seen it in my videos. If you've seen my channel, you have seen all the work that I have done with meditation, with energy work, psychic development. All of that is to develop the self. All of that is to connect you to God and your self-worth. You have got to trust and have faith and understand yourself enough to give you what you need and to know that you were worthy of it. And another issue that I ran into was thinking that I should be better enough to shift my mindset to heal the relationship or to heal whatever internally that was causing the issue in my marriage. Because I know all these things and do all this work, I thought I have enough knowledge to be able to do this when I couldn't hold that vibration. And I judged myself so harshly for not being able to see the God self in the other person for very long. So I had to self-accept and give me what I needed to be able to heal myself internally. And I could not heal in that environment. You cannot heal in an environment that broke you. You can't. If you're questioning whether your relationship is for you or not, or if you should stay or not, you need to even ask yourself why you're questioning it. That is sign enough for you. And I know, guys, I know the headspace that you're in. I know the confusion. I know the fear. And it's hell. It's hell to question yourself and go back and forth all the time. That is the mind. You need to listen to your body. The mind will always play tricks on you. If the answer isn't clear, if you're not listening to your body, the mind is going to keep you stuck. And most of the time, what really sucks, guys, and I've been there too, if you've experienced bad relationships your entire life, you don't know what a good one feels like, so you will settle for shit. And you will be like, oh, well, they're not doing this to me, so this must be a great relationship. They're not abusing me. They're not hitting me or anything or cheating. Some of the stuff that you probably put up with in the past that this person is not doing now, but this person is emotionally betraying you. That is the worst kind of betrayal because it leaves confusion. It's not clear as day as if somebody cheated. That is clearly wrong, right? If somebody hits you or talks down to you or abuses you in some way, that is clearly wrong. It's the emotional betrayal that causes confusion or the staying stuck or the back and forth of yes or no. When somebody emotionally betrays you, and what I mean by this is they do not meet your emotional needs when you have communicated to it, when they say that they will do something or provide something for you or stop doing something and they don't do it, that is emotional betrayal. And what will end up happening is you will get into a fight and then they will say that they will change. Or it could be vice versa. You will say that you will change and they may change for a bit and then they go right back to the cycle. And you will repeat that. And you stay in toxic relationships like that because you were scared to leave until you work on yourself enough to know that you deserve better, to know what it is you exactly want in a relationship. Now that you know what you don't want, you have got to believe in yourself enough that you deserve it. And ultimately, you have to give it to you first before anybody else can. You have to heal and love yourself first before anybody else can, before you can see the God self reflected back. And that's how you know when somebody is for you. Like I said before, you elevate. You elevate. You are a better person around somebody, not the worst version of yourself. And guys, it's not to say that the other person isn't trying. It's not to say that it's their fault either, that they can't change. Changing is hard. It is hard, especially if you've been set in your ways for years. You don't think that if that other person could easily change, that they would? Do you think they enjoy being either yelled at or whatever the discomfort of the marriage or relationship is? No, nobody does. But it's hard to change, especially after a certain age or years of the same patterns of energy. Sometimes therapy isn't even enough. This is where it is nobody's fault, but it's just your responsibility to understand and provide what you need for yourself, even before you go out and try to find it in somebody else. Because it's going to be your energy reflected back to you. It's always the state of energy you are in that will determine the relationships that you're in. So it is never about anybody else. It is all about you. So guys, relationships are our greatest teachers. They tell us the most about ourselves. And if you're at a crossroads, like I was for the longest time, I hope that you can give yourself what you need, because that will be the greatest act of self-love for you and the other person. Because I promise you, if you make the choice out of self-love, that will be the greatest reality you could ever create for you. God will make sure of it. All right, guys, that's all I had for you for today's video. It was very this thing, I swear. Oh my gosh, I just need to put it out. This was bothering me the whole damn video. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I really hope it helped you guys, because I've been there. I know what it's like. I know the hell that it can be. And I really, really hope that you choose yourself, because even if it's uncomfortable and it's painful, I promise you, at least this pain, there will be peace down the road. You just have to trust and get through it, okay? I'm sending you all my light and all my love. Satnam.